Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing? Hope you're doing well. Let me get this shared over here and we will start the stream. Hope everybody's day was swell. All right. Cool transition. Dope. Focus. That's dope. All right. What do you say we just dive into it? How about that? Let's do it. Big day. Big couple days. Didn't stream last night. Let's get in. All right. Okay, we're going to go super fast because it's super fucking late. 2 a.m. All right. So, yesterday, Monday, had a finance meeting. Talked about a lot of stuff, like, with myself. All the personal stuff that I do, all the credit cards and everything like that. Normal spiel. If you've been here before, you know what I'm talking about. Reconciling all the bookkeeping and everything like that for the 5 businesses that don't make any money. They just spend money like water now. Update on the city fraud. It's still on the account, the Walmart charge from Arkansas. So we'll see what happens there. Started processing FPP 63, which I kind of fucked up. Like I didn't finish it. Normally I have in my calendar every day on Monday to do that, and I didn't finish it yesterday, but I did end up finishing it today. So kind of that's whatever. I didn't need to do AM and the PM tomorrow, but I like to have the 2-day gap there. Edit on Monday, publish on Wednesday, but sometimes that doesn't happen just because I'm not the absolute 100% most disciplined person. I'm working on it. The calendar thing has definitely helped. The time blocking is actually unreal. But yeah, I also feel like this music is kind of a little loud on my end, so I'm going to try to turn it down a little bit. I don't know if you can really hear that at all, but on through the microphone, I don't think you can, but oh well. Okay, so next thing is AM and the PM merch updates. So basically, if we go into AM and the PM here, and this is the website, like I said, so I'm going to put this in the chat thingy, so you can kind of go there if you'd like. But this is our website for AM and the PM. We have merch. If you go over to shop, we have, if it loads, it's a little slow there, but we have different stuff. I placed an experiment order because I've never really done it like this. So this is Printful items. So like basically you design the shirts and everything like that, and you don't have to hold any inventory. You just kind of put it up on your site, and then people can buy them like one off. And so what I did was I purchased one of these shirts for Amanda and some stickers just to kind of see the quality and stuff like that. And just went through the process like I was a customer, and I just went through and ordered it. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated when that gets shipped and everything, and when it comes in. That'll be kind of cool to see see the whole process. And it works though. So like if you want to go buy something, we'll have more products, but definitely want to have merch here. Want to make sure that AM and the PM is well represented as far as that goes. And as we continue to establish a fan base, that would be kind of cool to see it out there in the wild. So hopefully that helps. And so that's a little update on that so far. If we go back over here, I did some Find a Tech client work, been working on a project for the last month. Excited to add that to the portfolio. Pretty much almost done with that. So we, should be looking for our next project and such like that. I'd like to do more projects, but I have other shit that I'm trying to do. So yeah, it's kind of like a, tough between a rock and a hard place type situation, but we're scaling slowly but surely. So doing that, and then did a lot of MJS site work. I'm actually going to kind of talk about this a little later because I want to go into more depth because I have like a lot more tabs and a lot of different shit here that's kind of going on. And so that's that. So we'll come back to that. I watched Borat 2. That's very funny. Sucker for like stupid comedy. And I love Sacha Baron Cohen. I think he's a great actor. And that was enjoyable. I have Amazon Prime. It's free on there, so I would highly recommend that. And then played some hockey. Again, I think I played 2 games. Lost first game, won second one, I think. But again, Mondays and Tuesdays are my hockey days, so just trying to stay, somewhat in shape, especially over the winter, playing inside now. Another thing too is like I'm starting to notice, especially today, like my hamstring and like my kind of like my shins and calves area, like I'm getting, like I need to do something. Like I need to make sure that I'm stretching or something. And I thought about this, like maybe like, well, I tried to go back to the gym, but again, like I have yet to build that into the schedule, but just something to stay active on the other days that I'm not at the rink. So yeah. And then, like I said, had a long phone conversation last night. That's why I didn't stream, because this is a 2-day stream here. And talking about like just different kind of like almost like political policy, things like that with a buddy of mine. Just shooting the shit, like different topics and ideas. I can't even remember exactly what the topics were, but that's like what I like, and that's what I think we should probably get into slightly in FBP. I don't want to go like dive into politics. I'm not a politician or a political analyst, but just like things that actually mean something, and not from a political side, but just like a life and just like living type of thing. I think that would be a good. I think that those topics are always important to have. So something like that. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Today was an interesting day. I was supposed to wake up, and because I was up late, like I actually woke up a little later, and I actually forgot to take the trash down. That was kind of funny. But I didn't right away. I should have went into like finishing the FBP episode and playing around with the AM and the PM episode for Thursday, but I didn't really do any of that. It was kind of just like I get in these moods, and I want to like work on websites and like my MJS website, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit, like just that sort of stuff. And for some reason, spelled verification wrong. That's funny. I did something today, and it was on my YouTube channel. So if we go over here, which is actually interesting, I'm going to refresh this. Will this show? That's kind of cool. So like I played, this is one of the things that I played with here. So like these sections here, I actually made a YouTube video today for the first time in, I don't know how long, probably close to 8 months. Like, I don't know if this was the last one that I did, but no, this might've been the last one. I don't know, a while. I can't remember when the last one was. Actually, I could probably just look right here, maybe. No, these are all the daily recaps. I mean, like an actual YouTube video I haven't made in probably like 4 months or something like that. I made one today, and it was like, I couldn't figure something out. And there's actually a sidebar that goes over here, or used to go over here, and you could like feature channels and stuff like that, but they don't do that anymore. And instead it's down here. It's at the bottom. So these are, this is kind of what I wanted to do now. I want to make sure that all the brands are represented on my YouTube channel, because I talk about all of them, and wanted to do something like that. So small thing, made it. Obviously 99% of people probably aren't going to need that video, but for some people I think it'd be helpful, because it took me a while to figure that out. And then I also did this here where it's like live now, so that's kind of cool that it shows that. I guess it shows it twice anyway, so maybe I don't even need that, but that is dope. Happy to see that. So did that, and then did some verification with Google Analytics or something, so that my channel is kind of linked to my website. I don't know if that really means anything, but hopefully it means something with SEO and such. So yeah, did all that, finished processing FBP, like I said, played some hockey, 2 really good games, happy to get out there and run around as always. Now we got a couple things here. So I got an AM and the PM topic that I want to talk about. I have this one, which I think I'm going to talk about first, because it's just like easy to talk about and just fun to kind of like poke shit at other people. Just like this is, so I'm scrolling through to set the stage on this one. Kevin Hart post, Fabletics. This is just notes that I have, but to set the stage on this one, I'm scrolling through Instagram at some point today, and I see this ad, and it is right here, and it's Kevin Hart being funny. But I didn't really read anything. I just kind of watched this video here. I think this sounds off. So I saw something like that. When somebody pays $90 for shorts, and then it's $19 for shorts, $49 value. This kind of funny shit. So here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. This brand that he has is called Fabletics, right? And this website, and this like, this is an ad obviously on Instagram or whatever, but Fabletics is, I think they have stores now, because I think Amanda and I have been in one of the stores, and it's funny because I have firsthand experience with it. I don't know what to say about this model. Like, this Fabletics idea and model is interesting, and I've seen it in other places. So like Fabletics, if we go here, it has this thing where it's like how it works, and you scroll down and you say get personalized picks, and you say shop or click skip. Like this is the exact same model as other places like Just Fab. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. I've heard of that from some people that I've known in the past, and it's an interesting idea because it's like you're signing up for this VIP thing, but it's a subscription and it costs $50 a month. And if you don't press a skip button by the fifth day of each month, then you get charged that. And the subscription entitles you, I guess, to, deals on shit. But from a financial, wizard, now I'm not a wizard, but like somebody who cares about like finance and stuff like that, doesn't make a lot of sense that you're paying to shop, because unless you're making back that money, then it really doesn't make any sense. And how many times are you really going to shop at this place? So point being, Amanda signed up for this, and I'm wondering if she was already charged for that, or if she forgot or remembered to change that or not. But regardless, it was the reason that I thought this was funny was because the first thing that came to my mind was like, how much lower can you charge? How much less can you charge for regular shorts? You know what I'm saying? Like Nike makes shorts, Adidas makes shorts, and then like Fabletics would have shorts, for instance. How much less could you actually charge for stuff, and from like, a business perspective, and actually still make a profit and like still make it like believable that you're charging that much without a catch type thing? Because like, again, they got to be making a lot of money off of this to justify, the discounts that you get for being a VIP member and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not shitting on this model. I'm actually very interested in this model because I think it's kind of the first time I saw a site like this where it like gives you like points and stuff like that for the things that you do, and you have to press, the skip button to like make sure that you don't get charged and stuff. I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to build one of those sites, but I don't know. It's just an interesting concept, and I saw that ad today and it made me think of it. So those are my thoughts. Let's go here next. So I was doing this influences page, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second here on the website. Actually, I'll show you right now, and then we'll go into deeper dive here. But so I have about MJS and I have my influences, and again, none of this is done, so don't take it extremely seriously. But this is a page that I wanted to make sure that I had on my website, because I had it on my YouTube channel. That's what I showed earlier about the featured channels. I've had a lot of influences in my life. I've had a lot of positive influences, people from, all different walks of life, all different niches, like podcasting, web development, mindset, finance. Like all of these people have impacted me in one way or another in their given, field or niche. So I want to make sure that I give credit where credit is due, and I say like what I got almost from them, because I think that'd be a cool thing to do. And I don't think enough people say how the fuck they got to where they were. And publicly kind of do that. Cause like, seriously, I'm never going to be a Graham Stephan of YouTube personal finance content. But if I could send somebody that way, I think that's the second best thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if I think, like if I know where the information is and I tell somebody how to get to that information, I think that's the only thing that's second to like, it's the second best thing to just having that information or having all that and being able to do it. So that's kind of my reasoning there. Again, I want to just give credit where credit is due, like all the things I've learned from, like all these different figureheads and stuff like that. Harris Heller actually with the stream beats that you hear right now. So stuff like that, right? So that is kind of my idea for this thing. Now, let me talk about what I said. So if we scroll down here, okay, and I'm doing this influences thing, okay, and you can kind of get the idea of what this is. It's like people or entities or whatever, like mostly YouTubers and stuff like that have influenced me positively with the information that they put out. Okay, great. So I'm doing this, and I see this guy, Harris Heller, who, again, live streaming genius. He's helped me with a lot of different things as far as his content goes and everything like that. Great. I have this idea, though, because I'm always thinking about the different things that I'm interacting with at different levels and different angles. So these are notes, so I'll like kind of fill in. So I was doing the influencer page. I was looking at Harris Heller. I realized he didn't have a website. Like he doesn't have like a personal website. He has like a business and stuff like that, but I'm sure that has a website. But he doesn't have a website, right? Like, you know, people have Twitters, Instagrams, and all that stuff. But, you know, if you become a public figure, you should probably have a website, in my opinion. But we'll get into that. So I thought about that, and I was like, does he need one? Like, why doesn't he have one? Is a website worth it? Like, these questions are going through my mind. And I'm like, I don't know the answer to that question, you know? Because he has Twitch, he has YouTube, he has all these other platforms where people know about him. But there's two sides to this coin. So my quick conclusion is that if you're going to put the time into having a website, it better be good. It better be like a one-stop shop, almost like an ecosystem of things like, you know, Amazon has built with all the things they had. That's an extreme example, but you get the idea. But all of that for you or for your niche. Let me try to break that down a little bit and try to almost like illustrate that with what I'm trying to do with this MJS site, because I get this question all the time, like this what I do question, actually, this video here. And I don't know how to answer it, and I don't know, like, you know, what people kind of know and what people don't know and how I would need to explain it, all that. It's a difficult, it's a difficult question to answer. Here's the thing, though. I want this website, markjosephszymanski.com, I want this to be fucking me. Like, I want it to be everything about me. I want it to be, you know, all of these things, like all of this shit that's up here, like, you know, ball hockey, facts about me, my influences, like everything that I do, I want it to be encapsulated on here. That doesn't mean that I'm not also going to have a website for those other things, like you've seen, AM and PM, Fueled by Progress, because those are brand related websites. But this right here is me. Like, it's a personal website. I believe that I'm honest to God, I feel like everybody should have a personal website. I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, but like anybody that wants to do anything like publicly or, you know, professionally or anything like that, just have a fucking website. Have a website with your name on it. It can have as much or as little as you want on it. But for me, the stuff that I want to do, I want to make sure that there's one place that I always control, and I always control what it looks like, the content on, everything like that. And the fact that it just exists, right? And I want that to be like, you know, the epicenter or the hub of everything that I do. The mothership, I've talked about that before, like the mothership of what you do. And that's this website. And it's forming into that every day. I'm working on it and doing stuff like that and adding pages and content and all that sort of stuff. And this is what I want it to be. I want it to be like, you go to markjosephszymanski.com. When you see something about me, you click on the link or whatever, and you can stay as long as you like, right? You could learn about all sorts of different things that I do, the gear that I have, my story, you know, press kit, like something as silly as that, like all these different things, right? And, you know, there's other resources and stuff like that, you know, again, the format isn't 100% yet, but like you get the idea, right? Everything that's about me, everything that, you know, encapsulates the stuff that I want to do, my goals and all that sort of stuff. So the point is that, to go back, do I think that everyone needs one of these? Like if you're a public figure or whatever. And I would actually say kind of no. Like if you're going to spend time and money to put up something like johndoe.com, right? It better be fucking good. Like if you're going to spend the time and the money to, like I said, to get it up there and to deal with somebody or to do it yourself or whatever the case may be, like you don't really just want to have like one thing. Let me give you an example. MKBHD. Let me give you that example. So this is an interesting one, right? So this is his website right here, right? I think he has a merch store or whatever, but this is his thing. It's just like, you know, him, like a you know, cartoonish, whatever, like a drawn illustration of him. And then it kind of has a couple little bit of things, and then it has his other social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and obviously his main one is YouTube. But that's it. You know, like this is cool and all, like this is, I guess, helpful, has a little bit, but he doesn't have like a website where he has all of his stuff on it. I mean, to me, like, this is fine because this didn't take long or anything like that. But like, I don't like this. And what I really don't like personally is this right here. Actually, I've seen this before. You know, I don't want to get super into the weeds with the information that I'm trying to process here and like the thoughts that I have. But I really don't like this. Like, it probably doesn't make a difference whatsoever to him or like the things that he does or anything like that. But I just don't like the idea of the fact that we went to somewhere that he controls, right? Let me just try to explain this to you from a web developer's perspective, okay? We went to mkbhd.com. He owns that name, that domain name. He controls what goes on this website. He can do whatever he wants. Like, he has the money to fucking make a better website, I'm sure. So, whatever. I'm not criticizing him. I'm just saying, like, my opinions on this, right? He's got this website. It has very minimal things. It has like an email. It has, a little description. It has some links to social media. Great. Fine. The merch store, you click on that and it goes over to this Cotton Bureau, which is like so many other things where, like, I guess you can make like a little store inside their website, cottonbureau.com. I'm sure like they make these shirts. I'm sure it's just like a Printful type thing where they make the shirts and, I go in here, I click on this bacon shirt, I buy it, and then Cotton Bureau like sends it to me or something like that. I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but you get the idea. Here's what I'm saying. The point is, from a technical standpoint, from like an SEO perspective, from all these different things, I really don't think that is the best way to go. And here's why. You're sending people away. You're sending people to your content or your things about you, but you're sending people away from your shit. I don't want that. If I'm going to sell merchandise, I'm going to sell it on this site. There's going to be a fucking button that says merch, and I'm going to press merch, and it's going to look like AM to PM, where it's all on the same site. You do all the same stuff on that site. When there's courses, they're going to be built into this fucking site. I'm not going to use something else. I know how to build it on WordPress. I'm fully confident in my ability to produce a good product like that. I'm going to do that on this site. I'm not going to push them somewhere else. I hate that. I hate this like idea of like you have like, think about this for a second. Last thing I'll say about this. Think about how difficult it is to get people's attention. Seriously, think about how difficult it is to get people to, like, when you, here's a simple example, okay? Maybe you're not like a business owner or whatever. You put up a Facebook post, okay? And it's about like, either your day, like a special day, or like your thoughts on like a sports team or something like that. People see that and they don't really interact with it, right? But like, let's say somebody like, comments on that or likes it or something like that. Like, you have some of their attention. In this case, I'm trying to relate it. It's not really a good analogy, but if you can get somebody to markjosephszymanski.com, why the fuck would you send them away from markjosephszymanski.com? That's kind of my logic there. You understand? So everything that they do once they're in here, I want them to be able to do once they're in here. I mean, I have social media links and stuff like that. You have to have that. Like, that's important. Like, you want to make sure that the circle, like, it's a complete loop of where they can find you and stuff. But if they get in, I don't want them to get out necessarily. Like they can get out. I'm not forcing them, but like everything that is about me and on point with the brand and stuff like that, I want it to be there. And that goes for anything, not just MJS site. That's just an idea, thoughts. If you have any, let me know. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that whole situation there. Okay. So, and like I said, if you're going to do it, I think you need to do it all the way. So, that's my thoughts. Okay. I'm going to talk about AM and the PMBS, and then we're going to talk about the site a little bit more, even though I kind of showed a little bit about that. I want to talk about this though, because this is an important thing. It's not really a big deal. It is more of a controversy than BS, like a minor controversy. I'm going to talk about this, and then the point that I'm saying is not to like emphasize the situation. It's more to emphasize what I believe is important to take away from the situation and my thoughts on it. So here, let me break it down for you. We released an episode 2 episodes ago. I think it was 31. It was called Masturbation and Pornography. Right? When you see that, if you saw that on social media, if I shared that and you saw that, you're probably like, what the fuck is that? Well, obviously, like, that's a kind of a clickbaity-ish title. I mean, we talked about that, like it wasn't a lie or anything like that, but it's a title that you probably like, kind of like, whoa, what the fuck? That's a little interesting, right? So people were naturally curious about that. The video has like 150 views, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but that's the most viewed video that we've had so far, from about like 16 video podcast episodes, right? So so we put that up there 2 Thursdays ago, and that's fine. Like, we sat down, Amanda and I. It was actually Amanda's idea to say that topic, and I was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, the reason we set out to do AM and the PM was because we are very confident and happy and power couple, we'll say, whatever, however you want to describe it. And we wanted to do something that was fun and we could do together, but at the same time, we're not afraid to do the shit that we want to do, right? We're not afraid to, and I'll throw this into why for more of the cost. So we want to do things. We want to do things that were fun and stuff like that. And like I said, we're a couple that we get better every day, but we feel that we're pretty on, like we feel like we're on a good track, and we feel like we've, been together for a while, and we're figuring this out, and we feel like we have things that we could value, that we could provide to other couples, other people, whatever. Okay, on the subjects of like love, sex, all these different things that go into a relationship, right? Okay, so the fucking hallmark of AM and the PM needs to be and was set out from the get-go to be like fucking real, right? Like we can't do that halfway. Really, seriously, like it's not a good idea. Like it's not a good idea to do anything halfway. Like I come on here on these streams and I'm just saying what the fuck I want to say, There's no rules because I made the shit up. Like I made this thing up. Like this would not exist if I didn't make it, which is a weird thing to think about when you actually stop and think about that. That's like the craziest part of all this, right? And so going back to AM and the PM though, like you can't do it half-ass. Like nobody is going to give a fuck if you're like just doing stupid little topics and stupid things that nobody cares about. I'm not saying every episode needs to be about that. And again, we weren't like talking about it in a derogatory way. We're sitting down as two adults talking about it as like open fucking adults. And like we get comments or third party comments that it's like not on the videos, on not publicly on the video, but like from, the air, we'll say. And it's like people saying that like almost like that's weird or stuff like that. And it's like, that's fine. Congratulations. Don't fucking watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not exactly sure why you watch content that you don't want to watch and then like would complain about that or something like that. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Because it's not what I do. And so if you want to do that, that's fine. But again, we need to make content, no matter what it is, but we're talking about AM and PM specifically. You need to make content that's real, authentic, genuine. Those are all synonyms. And like, but actually affects like couples and like brings value to couples. And that episode specifically definitely brought a lot of fucking value to people. Like regardless of the content, like in and of itself being like, for some reason, sex in our society is like lewd and taboo to talk about. I don't understand why. I have no problem really talking about it. Obviously, from that episode, neither of us do. And it was just, whatever. We sat there and we talked about it and we put it out there on the internet. And that's, was fine. Like, and, but there are other implications, especially now, because like, I'm completely on my own as far as this goes. Amanda still is like employed and stuff like that. So there's understandable concerns, right? The video is private as of now. So you can't really see it, unfortunately, but the problem with that, okay, I need to document this because this is fucking important. The problem with that is that it sets a bad precedent. You can't give a fuck about what other people think about what you're doing or what you're saying or anything. If you're not fucking hurting anybody and you're doing the things that you want to do and you're moving in the direction that you think is best, why the fuck do you give a fuck about what other people think about? I understand, again, tough situations when like you're doing side hustles and you're still employed and stuff like that. This goes beyond AM and the PM at this point. Okay, that was the example. But like I'm talking to like just a random person, random viewer in this sense, right? Stop giving a fuck about what other people think. Seriously. Like it's fucking dumb. It's taken me a long time because I remember when I was working, I would make videos on like social media, LinkedIn and stuff like that, just showing what I cared about or the situations that I was in, mindsets that I have, stuff like that. And I would get like people asking me questions at work or like, they'd see it because we're friends and stuff like that on social media and they'd see it and they'd be like, oh, that's interesting. Like, sort of. Sometimes you condescending people, and that was the weird one because it's like, what are you trying to do type fucking thing. And I understand that's difficult. That's I didn't like that, right? So I get all that. All I'm saying is, as we move forward, hopefully positions are able to change and we're able to continue to create, especially the things that I'm doing, continue to create more and more freedom for ourselves, Amanda and I specifically, but again, could be applied in any situation. And hopefully with all of that, we will be able to actually be expressing the things freely. Because I don't give a fuck. Really. I care so much about my happiness and my fulfillment that like I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to try to help anybody that I can with all the things that I know. But like if you like I can't listen. I can't listen to that. Like I can't listen. I have no time to give a fuck about the negative feedback and negative thoughts and whatever about the things that we're putting out. Because I know it's important. Like, I fucking know it's important. I know the stuff that is on FBP is important. Like, some of it's, entertainment, I guess, based or whatever. But most of it is good, insightful shit. And I know that episode of AM and the PM, like all of the other ones, is good, somewhat entertaining, and mostly educational content. And insightful and helps people. If you just look at it and you fucking listen to it instead of just looking at the title, I know that it's worth it. Like I know it. I can't figure out a way necessarily to monetize most of this stuff because that takes time. But like I know beyond a doubt that I have taken in so much information at this point from so many different influences on the website, which we'll go over in a second. And then I'm putting it back out in the world through different media channels and different stuff like that. I know that it's fucking worth it. And I struggle every day trying to explain that to people, but it's fucking true. So I'm passionate about it, and I want to see it all succeed, and I just want to have a good time and be happy and positively affect the world. That sounds a little fucking cliche. I don't really actually kind of feel that way. I just mean like positively affect, anything, right? And more than anything, I just want to live a good life because I know and I believe truly that if every single person individually lived a good life, tried to find happiness and fulfillment and everything like that, personal responsibility to the nth degree, the world would be fucking phenomenal. I don't think that's how it works. We're not going to get into that conversation, but the point of this is you got to be careful about what you get about giving a fuck about other people's negative bullshit and like negative feedback and stuff like that. Certain situations, again, I'm not. This is a little bit of a dicey one, but that's a really important thing specific to this. I don't like the precedent that it sets, but it's tough, and I'm not exactly sure a better way to handle it. Hopefully, one day we'll be able to switch it back to public, and the archive will be rectified, if you will. But those are my thoughts on that, and that is I don't know. I don't know if other people have an opinion. I'd be more than happy to hear other opinions on that. But again, I've thought about that, and it's like really fucking important to not get tied up in the bullshit. So that is what I'd say on that. All right, to a lighter topic to round this out. Let's flip back over here, and let me just take you through the updates that I've made so far on Mark Josemansky since the last time we talked or whatever. I think there's like 15 or so pages. Still working on it. Probably looks really bad on a phone because I haven't mobile optimized it or anything like that. Again, we're working on it. But I added an influences page. I added a press kit page. I added some to the resources page. We'll look at that. I added the Goodreads. So let's just take a peek real quick, and I'll just kind of explain this. And then I got to make like a video or something on like the whole website at some point when it's done. But yeah. Okay, so my influences, again, we talked about this a little bit, but there's been a lot of people in my life from YouTube, from different places that have influenced me positively. Obviously, my family as well. I don't know if that really has a place per se. It kind of does, but I don't know. There's a story on here and stuff like that. So let's just call this indirect influences, right? Indirect in, parentheses, okay? So my influences, though, I've learned a lot from YouTube. I've learned a lot from different stuff like that. People like Joe Rogan, Patrick Bet-David, WP Crafter, Nerd's World, like all these different people and entities and stuff like that. Jordan Peterson, big deal there. All these different stuff. So my idea is to separate those into categories. If somebody wants to come here and say like, hey, how did you learn about finance? Like, I'm obviously going to tell them the stuff that I know, but if you want to try to back that up, if you think that I'm just some random asshole that doesn't know anything, you can go to these other random assholes. Fucking Dave Ramsey. You can go to these other guys and see like what they preach. And it's like, well, I've been watching this shit for a long time. So I think I kind of know at least a little bit of, at least a couple percentage points of what these people know. So, and I've implemented in my own life, because another thing that's big, and I'm going to make sure that I mention this here, is you can't just kind of like school, okay? This is how I kind of equate this. You can't just watch every Graham Stephan video like ever made and then think that you know what you're talking about. Like, you might know, but there's a second step, and it's very vital, and it's something that school doesn't teach you. You got to go do something. Like, you got to not only do you have to understand how like a Roth IRA works, it really helps if you actually go get a fucking Roth IRA and actually invest and, decide, what funds to put your money in and all that sort of stuff. You don't have to do that. You can have somebody else do that for you, I guess. But if you're interested in it and you want to be somewhat of a knowledgeable person in those things, you should probably consume, then implement, then almost report on your findings and iterate and stuff like that. So that's my patented schema. Feel free to steal that. Okay, made a press kit because I'm a Gary Vee fan and he has something just like this, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. So it's obviously not done. It's got a bunch of lorem ipsum here, but the idea here, okay, long term idea here is to have a page where you are random. We'll call it this. We'll call it like random school or something like that. Let's call you a university. And I am coming to speak. You hire me to speak or whatever. And you're writing like a program or like a little presentation or something like that, and you want some information about it. Well, maybe you can find that information anywhere, but very succinct place for somebody. I call it press because that's what Gary called it. It might change or whatever, but people get hung up on this press word. It's not fucking press. It's like anybody that wants to see information about you. Just like almost like a one sheet of, I think people call that like a one sheet of information about you, right? And the things that like maybe again in your brand or whatever. So again, work in progress here, but basic info, Mark Joe Szymanski, MJS, I guess, born, the website, social media links, companies, and all that sort of stuff. So if they want, they can take this information directly from here in one specific place. They don't need to scour across the internet, do different Google searches and stuff like that, and they can utilize it. And then again, down here, this is a cool thing that I don't have enough media for yet, but like even headshots and photos. So you can think maybe they're creating like a little program and they want to say, oh, Mark Joe Szymanski is speaking, at 3:30 on this day or whatever. Maybe they need to have like a picture, the name, maybe like what you do or some shit like that, like a small write-up, something like that. Here's all that shit for you. You don't even need to like ask me. I'm going to send you one link. You're going to go there and you're going to pick your shit. Have fun. That's what I mean. So this is dope. Beautiful, incredible idea. And I think for the things that I want to do long term, this may come in handy. So I did it because it took maybe like a half an hour to create this. And I do enjoy making websites, and we're just going to continue to make it better. So that's that. So I really like that idea. I like the concept. And unfortunately, obviously right now it's hard to visualize a use, but you got to think long term. So yeah. Resources, added a couple. These are things that you can just use, and I should probably actually put just this. Oh, well, let me hang on a second. I will put this in the chat here just in case anybody wants to go there. But that's just the website, and then you can kind of look at all this stuff. So I have a couple new tools and stuff like that, and this isn't like nearly the whole list. I'm trying to get all of the things on here. It's just taking a long time. So I put up the Nvidia broadcast, which is the way that I get this cool ass blur and different effects on the camera. That's a beautiful tool. Thank you again, Max Novak. The services here. I totally actually forgot I had a VPN. 100% forgot. Should probably use that more often, but that's something that I added here. And like I said, this is not done by any means. I added Google Domains, Google Photos. So I have a whole list of more shit that I need to add here, but this is going to be an incredible page as well, because there's going to be so much value here of things that I use, things that I believe in, and some of it again is affiliate links and stuff like that. But I think that's going to be really, really cool when it's done. Now this page, this is funny. I don't read, okay? I kind of feel bad when people tell me to read books, because I'm like, bro, I don't read. Like, I didn't read when I was in high school, I didn't read when I was in college, and I don't read now, because I don't do that. Like, I don't know if other people have the time to sit down and actually read a book. Like, you have to really physically get into a book to read it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think it's productive use of my time. If you want to read, if you think reading is fun, then you do that. I don't read. What I do is I watch a shit ton of YouTube videos on insightful content that I think is productive. And that's, again, going back to the influences. That's how I've learned a lot of things. What I will say is, just because I don't read, I don't necessarily think that books are worthless by any means. I'm not gonna be the type of person, absolutely fucking not, to have books in my house. If you look in this room, I don't think there's one book in here. Maybe there's one book that I was given and I have to give back or some shit like that. But there's no books in here. There will never be a bookshelf in my house. That's ridiculous. I don't think Amanda reads. Pretty sure she doesn't read. Maybe like some here and there. But like, I just don't like it. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, you got to be able to learn how to read. Like, that's duh. Like, you got to know how to read. But reading books, not a big thing. That being said, again, the pull book thing in and of itself, I don't think is a bad thing. What I will say is, I think that there's a really good way to read books, and it's like in the form of almost like a podcast or like an audiobook, right? So read it, like let it, play while you're driving or while you're taking a shower or while you're mowing the grass or something like that. Some sort of passive activity where you can listen and you could also do work. Because I really don't think, personal opinion, I do not think that you're gaining that much more by actually fucking sitting there and reading a book. I don't think so. I could be wrong. Again, to each their own. But I'm not going to read books, okay? I'm not going to like sit down and read a book. So whatever. However, there are books that people told me to read. And what I'm trying to do here is like have like a good reads section, which is actually a website. So that's kind of funny. But what I want to do here is have like a big list of books. And I wanted to do two things. One, serve as like my list of shit that I need to read. But two, also show like the books that I have read and maybe like my thoughts on them. Like, okay, so for instance, the last book that I can ever think, might be one of the only books that I can ever think that I actually read, and by read, I mean, I should say completed because I listened to this, was this, $1 Trillion Coach. Great book. Listen to it on YouTube or something for free. And it's about, Bill Campbell. He's a Silicon Valley like leadership coach and all that sort of stuff. And it was a really good book. I actually cried at the end. Okay, and it's one of the best lines I will say is one of the best ideas, motifs from the film is like, who's going to show up at your funeral? Like, did you positively impact? Like, how many people did you positively impact that when they learn of you dying would actually come and show up? And this guy had like a fucking full high school football field of people. So read the book is the point, right? I want to kind of do something cool where it like says like I read this one or this one's completed and this one, these other ones, are not completed yet, something like that. And again, the styling and all this sort of stuff, I just started this, so, bear with me. But that's the thing. And then also check it out links. So like you can go to Amazon directly from here and buy the book, and those will be affiliate links. So I need to write that somewhere. But that is what I mean. So I just love this shit. I love putting out the information that I have in my head, putting it all in this one place, this one epicenter of things. And I think it's going to be fucking awesome, honestly, when we're done here. I've been putting in a lot of work, and it's never going to be done because it's going to be dynamic, and we want to make sure that the content is always, building, but I'm excited about it. And that's pretty much all I got. I don't think there's any other huge updates to this. Just need to continue to put the content in there, like I said. Thinking about having like a YouTube videos section where you can kind of see some of the pieces or like the thumbnails or something from the videos, and then go over to YouTube. Haven't really figured out a great way to do that just yet. But yeah, we're moving along. We're having fun. I'm enjoying this. It's a fucking journey, man. You know, there's no shortcuts really. There's no it's stressful at times, but I mean, like, I thought about it today when I was thinking about like the money thing, making money and all that sort of stuff, and there's nothing else I'd rather be like. I mean, there's just nothing else. Like, I don't want a job. I don't want to do any of that. Like, I want to be the captain of my own ship, figure out what I'm doing, and just do it. And I have no doubts that if we just continue to move in this direction and continue to make our focus like building, and, you know, as we continue to do that, monetizing and stuff like that, we're going to have a great life. I mean, that's it. We're going to have a fucking great life. And anybody that thinks that I'm not, or anybody that doubts me or the things that we're doing, then good for you, you know. And I'm not saying that I have huge doubters or anything like that. I'm just saying in general, like, if anybody doubts the shit that you're doing and you're just putting in the work and you're moving towards your goals, fuck them. Like, seriously, like, that sounds a little harsh. Maybe I should dial that back. But seriously, like, why does it matter? Like, don't take that type of shit from other people, because it's not worth it. Like, it's really not worth it. You're doing stuff, you're making yourself happy, whatever it is, as long as it's not hurting anybody else. Does it really fucking matter? Seriously. Why do people try to devote as little amount of energy to things that I can't control? Like, worrying is just so unnecessary. I had a guy actually say that to me at the restaurant the other day. It's like, worrying, it was a conversation with my mom. It's like, worrying is such a wasted emotion. I was like, this guy's amazing. So, but that's all I got. I'm extremely tired. This has taken a long time, but I'm happy about it. I'm happy that I got to document this one. This was a really good one, in my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you watched it on the rerun, thank you so much. If you were here live, thank you as well. And that's it. We're going to keep building. We're going to keep doing the stuff we're doing. And we're going to keep doing that for the rest of our fucking lives, because that's what we like. We're not going to retire. We're not going to do any of that stuff. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing, because you only get one, and I've seen people waste most of, all of theirs, and I'm not going to fucking do that. So that's it. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support. Let's keep going. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow.